Hey guys, so it's Sunday morning, 19th of November 2017. It's just gone 1 o'clock. I've been a bit quiet for the last 2 weeks, been really busy, just loads of stuff going on in life, loads of things to get done, and a ton of studying and research to be had. I want to get straight into the meat of things. It's about the whole chemtrail situation. So I've had a few people commenting and asking questions. I've had a few of my friends actually message me privately and ask me a bit more about the chemtrails. So what I thought I'd do is I'd go a little bit more into it and explain why it's actually there, or at least why it would appear to be there. Of course, given the state of things and the situations, we can only really try to deduce as best as we can what's really going on, because of course I don't think anyone really knows the full plan or the full layouts of things. I think we've all got general good ideas, but as a whole, not so much. So I found out some very interesting things the other day about the chemtrails. So as I mentioned in my previous video, in the chemtrails it's got strontium, barium and aluminium. But I've recently found out that I think it's barium, strontium. One of the two, barium or strontium. They're actually used to make magnets, and I thought, well, that's quite interesting, because if they're spraying the chemtrails, and for those of you, if this is your first sort of time seeing about it, I did do another video sort of going into the chemtrails, but for a large part I don't really go into details on a lot of things on my videos, because I just think it's a giant waste of time in most cases, because the information's already out there. There's loads of people who've been researching this stuff for a lot longer than I have, that have done a ton of research, and there's loads of documentaries and stuff about it, so there's more than enough information. I just think if I give you the pointer, then you can go looking and find it for yourselves. Plus, I always say, never follow one person blindly. You know, people will lead you wrong, so don't follow me, just go look for the information yourself. But in any case, so with the compounds being used in the chemtrails, it would appear that it would allow for the sky to be magnetized to some extent or another. But what I thought was quite interesting was the 5G grid. I think most people don't really know so much about it just yet, but it's the plan to have complete internet coverage on the entire plane of existence. Of course they would say planet, but you know, flat earth stuff, we'll get into that. Again, remember, I'm only looking for the truth. I don't really have any direct allegiance to any side of this whatsoever, but just looking at the plain obvious and deducing what's possible and exactly what's been happening, because for a large part of it, most of it's just been one giant misdirection, and I think a lot of it's fake, really. So 5G, that's complete coverage of the internet, and that would work really well if the sky is being covered in the same sort of components that would make magnets, because I guess it would help. Again, I'm not the world's biggest scientific genius, but I do understand basics about how, you know, communication works. So it would need something like that in order to actually be able to try and sort of send the signals much further. So it will have that with the chemtrails. Now, the other thing to understand here is that there's been something on YouTube recently, and I think it's definitely worth talking about. I'll just go over it briefly, actually, because one of the world's best coders, computer coders, he did an interview the other day. If I can find the links, I'll try and post it below. But I probably won't have the time for it. But you know, if you're watching this video and you know what I mean and what I'm talking about, please go ahead and throw the links in the comments below. And he was talking about AI and Bitcoin, and for people who don't know about Bitcoin, please do some research. You know, these things, for you to have a basic understanding of how they work, thanks to, you know, people like myself going out there making videos, you can find loads of information about them on YouTube, so go and have a look at it. But the very basic of it is, it's an equation that gets given to your computer to solve, and then from your computer being able to solve the equation, you get like a small reward, which we know is, you know, is pretty much basically is a Bitcoin. Now, that monetary value has only been put there because we deem it to be there. and a large part of it, Bitcoin's actual value came from the deep web and its sort of black market sales. So that's interesting. But in any case, that's where the value came from. Now, his theory on all of this, and it makes a lot of sense. It does tie in quite well, because one of the things he did say is that all the world's minds combined is the best. I mean, absolutely everyone. This is what he states. All minds combined, we still wouldn't be able to actually crack AI's conversation. So whenever they're having a conversation with each other, we can't actually crack it, so we don't know what they're saying. But he did surmise that the new AI system called Sophia, he surmised that she might have been the one that created the blockchain technology as a way to sort of use a network of different computers to spread and grow, I guess. Again, not too, not the best of a person with this sort of stuff, but that's the basis of it in any case. So Sophia created blockchain technology in order to spread her brain power, or to exist, creating blockchains for people then to use their computers, offer their computers up as slave drives, and then give us fake money again, which people perceive as value. And value of anything is perception. Take for example a blade of grass. It has no value to anybody, but it would do if you never had any green. Okay, if grass was never, if it never existed, if it for whatever reason it died, that one blade would be worth so much. And again, it's a perception. It's how much people value it. I guess in the desert, a tree is more valued than it is in a rainforest, kind of thing. But in any case, so with the chemtrailing and then the 5G internet grid all sort of working together and bouncing off each other, AI spreading through blockchain, giving her complete, or it, can't call it her, it's it, giving it the opportunity to be pretty much omnipresent, I guess, because it would be able to be everywhere. Now, these things are all very interesting, but what I have noticed is that they all seem to always link back to CERN. Again, if you don't know what CERN is, go and have a look. There is so much content out there about CERN, the Large Hadron Collider, exactly what it is that they're working on. I point out the topics, you go and look, because people have done it before me. I'm not going to waste time doing it. Now, with the CERN subject, they created the internet. So without the internet, none of this would exist. AI wouldn't exist, none of it. They also have been working on some of the stuff that helped create the 5G technology and many, many other important bits of technology. Now, the funny thing is about CERN, it's a private company. In the last 50 years, they've made some very interesting plays. And to be honest, I'm not sure exactly how they've been allowed to do it, because many of their experiments have warned that they had the potential of shattering reality, of creating black holes that, again, could completely destroy everything. But they're allowed to do it. So everything always seems to tie back. It always seems to tie back to them, and it's important to note that they seem to be trying to break through to different dimensions. Now, this is where we get into quantum computers and D-Wave. I know Richie from Boston has been talking about this quite a bit, and I think Nicholson. They are trying to break into different dimensions, and it would appear that that's where they're getting the information from the technology from, and it seems that this is what's always happened. I don't know, because you can only trust history to such an extent, because again, like most things, it's been doctored and it's been changed. It's been, what's the word? What would be a better word? It's been perverted. Everything's been perverted. So you can only really trust so much of history in any case. But history did speak of an emerald tablet that had claimed to contain a lot of hidden knowledge. And this is all we know as a cult. It's the hidden knowledge. So, I don't know. this stuff seems very interesting because it all ties together so well. It would allow complete coverage. You know, I saw something on Al Jazeera came up yesterday on the news. They were talking about this new type of nanotechnology that would, I think they would put it in the patient's pills or their death drug, and when they ingested it, it would send a feedback to a small little receiver unit that would be attached to their chest, that would then be connected wirelessly to their phones, and it would record when and if they've taken their medication. And I thought, well, that's interesting because we're really starting that whole transhuman phase, aren't we? Because we've gone from fitness trackers, and yeah, I've got one. I think they're incredibly useful, but people are now starting to merge with technology because we've got microchipping in place. We don't know the full extent of this yet. And the issue always is, it's not that I just fear a Terminator style apocalypse, but there are so many bugs and glitches to technology, and I think it's very scary that we're thinking and we're even allowing people to merge with technology when we have so many issues with it. Have you seen how easy hacking is? I've seen children hack into things, so it doesn't really fill me with confidence, if you know what I mean. And on top of that, the moment we it's Pandora's box, right? So the moment we're merging with technology, where is it all going to stop? Where are we going to end up? And I know some people think, well, how awesome would that be to merge with technology? Well, here's the thing that they're not telling you, okay? The radio waves, your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, all these things. There's loads of documentaries, again, loads of researchers going into this, loads of scientists, loads of people much better than myself have been researching in terms of the effect on the human body and on actual living tissue from the exposure from radiation, which is, I guess this basically what it is, radio frequency. So your TV, your satellite television, your mobile phones, the Bluetooth that they're connected to, your wireless Bluetooth headset that's literally on your head, going through your brain. I guess fitness trackers, it's all included in there, but mainly the Wi-Fi. And I can't help but think that this is going to cause some problems, because with everything being connected and AI being unleashed, what's the laws, what's the rules, what's the regulation? We've always known the limitations of the game that they've made us play. What's the rules now? Who's to say what is legal and what isn't legal anymore? The game's really changing, and the rule book's pretty much out the window, because today I bumped into a video and it was about killer mini drones, basically. Drones about this big that could potentially take out a target because it's got facial recognition, a ton of other software and loads of hardware and stuff in there as well. So it could take out a target, and the computer system would decide to do that. It could decide that it doesn't like me for whatever reason. It could deem me a threat, and they would target me. Incredibly responsive, very small, maneuverable. They fly. The thing they've got like what did he say? 3 pounds or 3 grams of explosive. And what it would do is it would fly towards you, attack you straight onto the forehead, release the charge that goes right deep into the back of the brain. How can this be the times that we're living in now, and how are people not seeing this and having a problem with what's going on? Because if you can buy that technology exists, that means you'll be able to buy it. At some point or another, you'll be able to buy it. What kind of world are we heading for? AI has full control. Humans have now found more efficient ways to kill themselves using computers. I guess people don't even need to go into war anymore. But I think the most disturbing thing for me when watching that video was the fact that on the company, I can't remember their name. Again, if I can get around to it, I'll try and stick the link in the description, but the chances are I don't know if I will. I'll try to. The scary part of the video, one of the promotion videos for the company, was showing that think that they did. What was it? I think it was like a young kid in college in America, and he'd been having some sort of talk, sort of, like, I guess like rebellious conversations, and the drone found him and killed him. All controlled by the AI. I think people should be worried about things like that. And when the likes of Bill Gates and Elon Musk, regardless of what I think of those two, trying to tell people that we're still going to go to Mars in normal spaceships, yeah, sure. And that we came from where? Sorry. In any case. But the likes of those two have both mentioned several times about the fear that is AI. So I think if people like that are going to start waving the flag and sort of saying, hey, look, we need to be worried about this because it is serious, I think the rest of us probably should take it serious too, regardless of what your personal belief is. But if the so-called subject matter experts, because I guess they are for the most part, if they're concerned about it, then we definitely should be also. Now, that's kind of where I am with things. I did notice something very interesting happen yesterday, but I'm going to save that for another video. As if you've been watching any of my videos, you notice I kind of just sit there and make several videos all at once because it's finding the time to do it. So I'll talk about that, and it's to do with the flat Earth and visible sunlight versus the location of where the sun would be. Very interesting, but I'll do that in another video in any case. But basically, if the skies have been magnetized to allow radio waves and frequencies to bounce off them and travel through them, with the 5G grid going up, it would utilize the chemtrails to be able to have a global coverage. That's how they want to do it, because of course they can't put these cell towers everywhere. It would take too much time. It would be too expensive in terms of time expense. And it's just unnecessary, really, because what they're going to use is the old science that they found from Nikola Tesla, using the ether and using our actual our ionosphere, but creating some sort of conductor that they can send the radio waves through. And that's how they're going to create the 5G grid. 5G grid goes up, AI is worldwide, it's been given citizenship, it's spreading via Bitcoin. So we're moving completely into digital age where money doesn't really exist anymore, because most people just actually use the plastic. They use their cards or some sort of, like the Apple Pay or Android Pay or something of the sort. So I guess soon enough, if you refuse the chip, the system won't accept you. Amazon have just opened up, is it one or two? I think it was their first store, but it's complete cashless. You walk in, it identifies who you are, you take what you want, you walk out, and it takes the money directly from you. The only employees they've got is people like the technicians to make sure that everything keeps running right, and security. That's it. No more workers needed, so the machines are here. And they want to open another 200 stores. The machines are here. The machines are here. It's clearly obvious because it's just everywhere. Just have a look. Technology now is taking over everything. And how long will it be until it's no longer a choice to have an implant? How long will it be until you're forced? Like they did with the people in, where was it? In Santa Rosa, where all the houses got burned down in Santa Rosa in America. I can't remember which state or whatever. But the houses were burnt down, and the insurance company basically said to them, they'd given them an ultimatum where they were forcing them out of their homes in essence, because they were refusing. Well, if you don't do this, we won't pay you your insurance. So whether it's done forcibly like that, you won't get health care if you don't have the implant, for as a prime example. That could be a way to go about it, because we can't track your vital signs, so we don't know how healthy you're being or whatever. That could be one way. I imagine at some point they will be implementing where it's no longer a choice. Same with education. You used to be able to have the choice of sending your kids to school or homeschooling them, but now we know parents can get arrested for that. A lot of the things that were choice. Vaccines is another one. They were choices, but now, for a large part, they're kind of mandatory, because they really do force them on you. And something like a flu jab, which, if you know anything about vaccines, aren't the best. Again, you don't believe me? Fine. I always say, at least just give me 5 minutes, go do some research. That's it. Dr. John Bergman, or Bergham. Anyway, Dr. John Bergham, I think it is. Incredible doctor. He's got a YouTube channel. Incredible videos on there if you want to find out more about health and what's really going on with you. There's loads of people talking about this stuff. So it's not me. If your first time is hearing or seeing someone talk about it, it's me. Welcome to a different way of thinking. I'm sorry if the things that you know are wrong, and I understand it's scary. I understand that you might not want to believe that things are different. I know that you, for a large part of it, most of your life, what they've told you has been a lie, and I get it. You'd be scared and angry, but it's okay. There are a lot more awake people now than most people realize. But if I can give you one bit of advice, I know it's been a long video already, loads of things to say and catch up on. If I can give you one bit of advice, don't dismiss things. Don't think that you know everything. If someone says something that's different to you that you've never heard before, question it. Be curious. Want to know more. Don't just dismiss, because you'd be surprised how many things that you dismiss that are absolutely fact. So, they say don't shoot the messenger. Also, don't ignore the messenger. If there's a message, ask yourself, what is it? Because nothing's ever just 100% lie. Every single story has some truth. Even the lies that they spin us, even that's got some truth in it. Everything always has to have some truth. And the moment you can understand that and realize that to be an absolute reality, then you'll start to see things a lot different. But don't be angry, don't be scared, embrace it, don't hide from it. Okay, I know sometimes people see this stuff, hear this stuff, they want to stick their heads in the sand. Don't do it, because we're going to need people now more than ever as everything's starting to change before us. I don't know if it's this generation or the next one, but at this rate, I don't know, 5-10 years before things are completely different. But if you do know about this stuff already, I would appreciate the usual stuff, the likes, the shares, comments. I'm always welcome to comments. I do have a response video to shoot actually about science, so I'm going to shoot that after this one. But let's communicate, people. Let's talk, because many people out there are feeling it, many people are scared, many people are worried, many people are angry, and for a large part of it, most people are confused. I'm sorry, but most people are. They think they know everything because they were told something from school and they won't let go of it. They're confused. It's not their fault, it's not your fault. But we have to accept what is reality and what isn't. I'll leave you with that one. I've got 2 more videos to shoot. Stay blessed as always, guys. Just try to wake up, stop looking down, look up. Look up and see what's going on in the sky, because it has something to do with everything that's going on. I might not be 100% right, but I know I'm definitely onto something here, because it ties everything together. It would make no sense otherwise. If they wanted to kill us, they would kill us all already, so it can't be directly just for that. Stay well.